So yeah, I'm not proud that I finally watched the movie, but I did it. I don't, and okay, the part that I'm not proud of is that I didn't hate it. It wasn't the worst movie ever. Alright, so we're talking about Suicide Squad. And alright, here's the thing. There's a lot to talk about in this movie, but I just don't want to spend a lot of time on it. It's just a what was that hiccup? The movie. Alright, so I watched this like the day, like 24 hours after I watched Avengers. And I think that is this movie so clearly, and it's kind of what I've heard about DC's movies in general, is that they are trying to copy Marvel, but be like the cooler version of Marvel. It's like, oh, we're so cool and edgy and we're for grown-ups. We got the bad guys. We got Margot Robbie with their ass hanging out half the movie, you know? Which, don't get me wrong. Sure, we'll start with that. Yeah, okay, that's fine that you want to have a darker movie, that you want to have it be about bad guys. It just feels like yeah, it's edgy, it's cool, there's not a lot of substance to it, and a lot of it feels almost gratuitous. Like, I don't hate a lot of the darker elements, and it's like, because, I mean, alright, I'm gonna spoil the movie for you, and if you don't, here's the thing, if you don't care about the movie, like, if you don't care, then you're not gonna care about spoilers. Like, if you're just putting this on for something in the background, I'm not gonna tell you to go out and watch this movie. You're, like, knowing what the ending is not gonna change whether or not you want to watch this movie. So, like, yeah, oh, and it ends, and they're still in jail, and it's like, blah, 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 you know? And it's like, okay, fine, there's not, like, a happy ending, but it's like, we're kind of back where we started, you know? And you can have stories that start and end in the same spot, and it can be a good story, and that can be good. But again, it's just like why? What was the point? What did we accomplish? Oh, we saved the world. Yeah, and I didn't watch like the deluxe edition, which I guess is like 15 minutes longer or something. I watched the version that's on HBO Max, if that makes a difference, if you've seen the movie and you're like, oh, Robbie, you gotta watch the full uncut version. Alright, fine, maybe. I don't necessarily want to. Look, I understand why this movie got so much hate, and I think it's because the first half of this movie, it's a 2-hour movie, the first hour of it is bad. It's just bad. It's like so boring, and it feels like it's so much backstory, and then it's like, and it's not terrible, but it's like, it's not good at all. It's like, I don't care, you know? It feels like they're trying to, like, there's the scene, like, I think it's the very beginning, with, Amanda Waller, is that the character's name? I don't know the actress's name, I'm not good at that, usually. But, and she's not a bad character. I hesitate to call her a good character, but she is not a bad character. She's a fucking hard ass. There's a scene where she walks into the room with, into Harley Quinn's fucking cage, and she's like, are you the devil? And she's like, maybe. I think, what does she say, maybe? But it's not a maybe, it's a yes. She's fucking evil. And I don't, I feel the same way watching her character, that like the only character I can think of to, because she's like a realistic evil. Like there are people in the world who are in positions like her who are evil like her, and it's like, yeah, greater good, or they're fighting for the greater good or whatever, but she's still, again, the devil. Can you hear my brother in the other room? I asked him to be quiet. He won't. That's fine. I'll just talk over him. She is evil. She is fucking hardcore. And I don't hate it, honestly. I think you have like and the only character I can think of to compare her to is like someone like Umbridge from Harry Potter. They're different personality-wise, definitely, but both in that you hate them. By the end of this movie, you hate her. And I don't hate that I hate her, you know? And it's not like something like how Umbridge is in Harry Potter, and it's like, yeah, I wanted the fun wizard adventure, not a fucking depressing... I'm sorry, I gotta adjust the camera, because I feel like I'm a little, like, at an angle for you guys. This seems better. And I don't, again, love to hate her. She's again, I hesitate to call anyone in this movie a good character. Just because none of them really are. None of them do anything, except, no, there is one. Diablo, the fire guy. I really enjoyed him because he's the only one who felt like he went on a little arc where he's like, and there's the scene at the end right before the like final battle where the Enchantress, who's the main villain of the story, because I would say the main villain is Waller. She's like present for more of the film and is more of a threat, honestly. But it's like, so the Enchantress like makes some like illusions for what all the characters want. So like Will Smith's character, the whole movie is doing everything for his daughter. The Harley Quinn just wants to be with the Joker, blah, 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 blah. And Diablo killed his fucking family. He burned his house down, and that's why he's in jail, because he turned himself in, because he's like, you know what? Fuck me. I suck. I'm not putting any good into this world. I blah, 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 you know? So his, like, flashback, his ideal world is a world where he never killed his family. And, he's the first person to come out of that. He's like, no, it's not real. I can't escape what I did. And he's not evil. I mean, they talk a lot in the movie about the bad guys. And, you know, I'm noticing now, I'm having the opposite effect of my Iron Man 2 review, where I came out of Iron Man 2 being like, you know, this was boring. And then I came out of the movies being like, oh, this movie's kind of boring. But then I came out of the review being like, no, this movie fucking sucks. It's bad. I'm having the opposite effect here, where I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of lame. It's kind of boring. And now I'm coming out of it, I'm like, wait, no, it's actually not terrible. I don't like it. I have no desire to watch it again, mainly because I gotta sit through the boring-ass first half, which, you know, I mentioned that earlier. Second half, not terrible. Not the worst. Not bad. I mean, it does devolve. It has this superhero movie problem where it devolves into, oh, we gotta get through the city and get to the portal and beat the bad guy and the army of alien zombie monsters. And again, coming off of Avengers, a movie that does that pretty well. Not perfectly, but Avengers was the movie that set the trend. I say that in the Avengers review. With this, it's just kind of like, eh. And it's like, oh, we all gotta work together because we all have our own unique powers. And we have to work together as a team. Or better yet, as a family. And we care about each other. And it's like, Kind of right. Come on. With the Avengers, they had most of the movie together, working together, and growing together, you know? Yeah, it wasn't, they didn't all just like appear together at the beginning and then spent the rest of the movie there. But it's like not until they don't even like get to the city together until like 45 minutes in. And it's like, okay, well, none of these characters know each other previously, and they are talking to each other, and they're like, all right, so we're getting out of here, we're breaking out, right? And like we're working together, right? I hate that kid so much. But again, by the end of it, they call themselves a family, and it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. That's the problem. I guess that from what I've heard, that's the problem with a lot of the DC movies is that they are trying to be Marvel, but not. And it's like, just make movies. Just do your own thing. Marvel did their own thing, and they found their stride, and they stuck with their formula, and it's working for them because it's good. You can't just copy what someone else is doing and expect it to work for you. That's not how it goes. And this doesn't work. I'll go through the characters. Will Smith's character, Deadshot, I think his name is. Not bad, you know. All right. Let me explain this. I think this is a better way to go through the characters. Because, you know, you have the beginning scene with Waller giving, like, the rundown. It feels like a fucking movie trailer. Or, like, a bunch of individual trailers. Like, before the movie came out, they uploaded each of the individual scenes. Like, okay, here's the Deadshot introduction. Here's the Harley introduction. Here's the Captain Boomerang introduction. And they don't, it doesn't work as a movie. It feels like it's, I don't like watching a trailer for the movie that I'm already watching. That's not good. That's not how you write a movie. It doesn't work. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's like, it goes too, it both feels like it takes too long, and it's too slow, and they spend too much time, and it's like, well, maybe in a superhero team-up movie, usually the characters are already established. And it's like, yeah, everyone knows who Harley Quinn is. Everyone knows who, like, the basics of Killer Croc, but they don't give a backstory to fucking Killer Croc. And it's like, they don't do anything else, you know? They spend too much time with these characters who aren't already well-known characters. Like, if this was a Justice League movie, it's like everyone knows Superman, everyone knows Batman, everyone knows Wonder Woman, etc. They wouldn't need to give introductions to these characters because everyone knows the characters anyway. But with this, it's like, yeah, everyone knows Harley Quinn. Not everyone knows Deadshot. Not everyone knows Captain Boomerang. Not everyone knows Katana. I don't know any of the other characters. I can't think of them off the top. Not everyone knows Diablo. And it doesn't, like I said, just kind of doesn't work. It isn't as much fun to watch them. I wish that they... And, alright, Will Smith's character... I'm going to go through the characters for real now. Will Smith's character, Deadshot, again, I don't hate the motivation of wanting to be with his daughter again and make sure that she's safe. You know, I don't remember exactly how the scene goes, but when Waller and Flag come down, Flag, who's like an army captain guy, he's the good guy of the team, making sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. The thing with his character is that he, like, when he's his list of demands. It's like, all right, I'll do whatever you want. But I want the money. I think I don't even remember if he says he wants money. But then he's like, I want my daughter going to the best schools. I want her to go to like an Ivy League college, best schools, and even if her grades start slipping, just schmooze it, you know? And it's like, okay, you know, that's who he is. He doesn't, yeah, he wants the money. He wants to wear the Pharrell Williams hat, and he wants to have the gold chain and be this cool dude with a bunch of money, but more importantly, he wants his daughter to be set. He wants what's best for her, and he's good. And I think that he's good at what he does, you know? Harley, everyone knows Harley Quinn. I don't need to go into her backstory. But they use the Joker's in this movie, not a lot, but also not enough that he's super significant. Like they should have used the Joker in this movie the way they use Batman and Flash during the scene with Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang is just a thief who uses boomerangs. He's not a special character. But anyway, they should have used the Joker how they used Batman, where he's in 2 scenes. When he catches Deadshot and when he catches Harley. And then that's it. That's the end of it. Like that's the only scenes that Batman's in, and the Joker. Now I don't hate the scene where he, you know, comes in and he. I don't mind the scenes of him finding out where Harley is and then coming in to save her. They aren't terrible. And then at the end when he breaks back in and rescues her. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just not, again, it's not enough. Or it's, they both, again, either use him how they use Batman or have him be a central character. And again, why does he get top billing? Why in the credits is his name right after Will Smith? Why is Jared Leto's name right after Will Smith? You know, he's not there a lot. And on the Joker, you know, I know everyone was shitting on him when the movie came out, and knowing some of the stuff he was doing behind the scenes, like method acting and shit, which is fine, but it very much feels like what I thought was he was just going to be trying to be Heath Ledger, which I think that was the impression I got from hearing what he was doing behind the scenes. And he's like, oh, I am so crazy. I'm the Jonkler. You cannot control me. I'm insane. Ooh, I kill people and blah, 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 blah. You know, I thought that's all it was going to be, and it wasn't. I liked this interpretation of the Joker. I liked the idea of it. I didn't necessarily like the execution, because he very much feels like because they're trying to make him more like a gangster, and I kind of like that. You know, like these characters have been around forever. There needs to be new and different things done with the different interpretations of the character. So taking him in a new direction, again, making him less of a supervillain and more of a just psychotic gangster type, that works. I mean, not this specific case, but, you know, the idea of it works. I could see the Joker in that. I could see a version of the Joker that is that. It's just not amazingly done here. Moving on to Harley. She's just the quirky random. Oh, I'm crazy. I'm weird. You know. She reminds me of she's the embodiment of like I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing. It's like a few years ago I saw, and he's making noise again. Here's the meme. He says he's sorry. It's like a Facebook minion meme that's like, oh, I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every bit of it. And it's like, she is the living embodiment of that meme, complete with the picture of the minion. It's like, oh, just shut up. Shut up. None of the like quips from her are funny because I've been seeing, because they're just jokes that they're repackaged versions of jokes that have been made by the quirky RAR XD type people since the beginning of the internet. I've seen it. I hate it. The Joker wasn't what made me hate women. It was Harley Quinn. That's a joke. I don't hate women. I'm not a misogynist. I swear to God. Please don't come after me. Fast forward to 10 years from now where I'm a successful actor and this video gets found and I lose a part in a new movie that I want to be in. That'll be fun when that happens, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, she's just, I don't care. And it's like, don't get me, and she's very much there to, one, be the girl, and two, be, for people to be like, oh, Margot Robbie's kind of hot, which she is, don't get me wrong. But it's like, I mean, I don't know, I thought The Enchantress was a little, you know, I liked her a lot more. What can I say? I have a type. It's crazy evil witch girls who will cast a spell on me and kill me. Sue me, I guess. I mean, you know, Flag knew what he was fighting for. That's all I'm gonna say. Man has a type, and I can't hate him for it. But anyway, yeah, it's like, what the fuck is Harley doing there? And what's Captain Boomerang doing there? It's like, okay, if you want a superhero, what is she bringing to the table that, like, one of the stupid Navy SEAL type dudes couldn't? You know, you got all the army men. I don't know military shit. I'm an idiot. But it's like you got Deadshot, who is like, yeah, it's like, oh, he just shoots guns. Yeah, but he does it really fucking well. Like, there's the one part where I think it's like the first like fight against the corrupted monster guys, where he just is like, there's the whole fight, and then the last like minute is him just going like shooting them and like getting a McCree high noon play of the game, you know. And everyone else watching like, holy shit, dude. It just hit me that I made an Overwatch joke in 2020. I will now lay my life down. You can judge me, and if you deem me not worthy, I will commit honorable Sudoku. I promise. That I don't promise. That was a joke. Anyway, so fine. He can come, because he's his superpower is being really fucking good at that. He's like a Batman, you know? But then Harley's not super good at shooting a gun and hitting people with a bat, you know? Captain Boomerang throws boomerang. That isn't, unless you're Sokka from Avatar, don't care, you know? I'm not feeling it, you know? Diablo, again, he shoots fire out of his hands. He's good. He's there. Other than that, though, I mean, I guess Katana can use the sword really well, which, sure, that's its own. That's separate from, like, shoot guns. I feel like I'm forgetting... Oh, Killer Croc. Again, giant superhuman crocodile there, you know. He can come. Again, it feels like Harley was just there to be eye candy. Which I don't... I mean, y'all know me. Y'all know I don't mind anything. Like, you know, I don't hate it on the basis of that. It's just like, I don't care, you know? I don't... Why? She doesn't add anything. And I do kind of want to see Birds of Prey, though, because I don't I want to see. I really hope that they make the character better and give her a little more depth other than lol quirky random insane girl. But whatever, it is what it is. I don't. She doesn't ruin the movie or anything, but it's just like, okay. It's just every scene where they showed her walking away from the camera and you could see her ass hanging out, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. It's like, oh, come on. And don't get me wrong, I don't have any problem with a woman not, like, I don't have any problem. I'm not a prude. I jerked off like twice already today, and I might go for a third if I feel like it. My point is, and it's not that you can have a character, like, I don't know. And she's, the thing with the Joker coming to save her is the Joker and Harley relationship has always been that she fell in love with him. He used her. He is not a good person. He is abusive to her. She is completely enamored. Like, I think of the comics right now. Again, I don't really read comics. I'm not a big comic guy. I love superheroes. Never been into comics. I would love to get into it. But I'm pretty sure right now, like, the story that they're writing with Harley is her and Poison Ivy going off and doing her own thing as Harley is, like, breaking away from the Joker, like, realizing how he doesn't care about her. And again, it's like I said earlier when I was talking about the Joker, these characters have been around forever and there can be a million different interpretations of them. So having a version of the Joker who actually loves Harley is fine. And I don't hate that. And they can do that. And again, just do it well and show that you have an understanding of the characters before you go off and do something else, Moving on, again, none of the other characters are really that significant. Captain Boomerang is just the, like, ooh, is he gonna betray the team? Is he gonna do something for himself? Blah, blah, blah. And Killer Croc is just strong guy, he's like, he doesn't add anything to the team except for the underwater scene at the end when he has to go and plant the bomb, I think. Other than that, though, he is just giant guy who eats people. And they don't even give him a backstory. I don't know Killer Croc's backstory. He's like the one Batman villain who I don't know. And maybe that's just me. Maybe everyone else knows. But it's like, I know the backstories for a bunch of the Batman characters. Like, everyone knows, like, like Mr. Freeze and Catwoman and stuff. I mean, Catwoman's pretty basic, but, like, fucking Killer Croc, big, strong crocodile man. And he doesn't really do a whole lot. He's not really a character. He's a prop. And it just kind of disappoints me. Not because I, like, love Killer Croc, but again, it's like, why is he here if he doesn't add anything? I mean, again, I don't know how much, I don't remember how, like, in-depth I went into this with the Avengers review, but you take a character like, Black Widow, where it's like, you could make the argument that the purpose her and Harley serve is similar. I was like, oh, she doesn't really add anything to a team of superheroes. She's just there because Scarlett Johansson is hot. And it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bullshit you. Of course that's part of it. Like, no one's gonna deny that. But having a spy type character who works with the normal superheroes works. And what separates Black Widow from Harley is that Black Widow actually has skills and is actually talented and can do something. She isn't just a generic psychotic criminal who happens to have a name because she worked with the Joker and everybody loved the Joker. And not because everyone watched the Batman animated series as a kid, saw Harley for the first time, and were like, hey, why am I pee-pee hard? So, you know, it is what it is. Again, do whatever you want with the characters. I mean, there's a million different interpretations, so try new things. And I'm happy that the movie got made. I'm happy that someone said, I want to make a Suicide Squad movie. And they tried. I think aesthetically, I think the movie should have kept a lot of the aesthetics that they had at the beginning. Again, during like the, I think the movie took itself too seriously. I think that might be the big issue, is that it tried too hard to be dark and gritty and for grown-ups when they didn't need to. It's like they didn't need to do that, you know? If you want to have darker and grittier versions of the characters, that's fine, but do it well. If you're not going to do that, don't, you know? And I think that, where was I leading with this? I had a point. I don't even remember what the point was. The only other things I kind of want to talk about, the final battle was not that bad, actually. I kind of liked it. It was pretty well done. You know, everyone, I like seeing, again, I'm a sucker for see, I don't know if I mentioned this during the Avengers review, but like having the camera go from one character to another and have them all working together in this fight, it's like, yes, this is it. We're doing it. We are a team. And it's like, bro, and again, Diablo going fucking beast mode. That's pretty badass. I love that. When he turns into like the giant devil thing to fight the Enchantress's brother, who I don't think had a name, or at least I don't remember it. And just them clashing together. That was cool. That was good. I understand why I don't think this movie necessarily deserved all the hate that it got, but I don't blame people for hating it as much as they did. You know, the first half of this movie is bad. It's just bad. And then the second half of the movie is okay, but it's like, honestly, if you watch the first hour of this movie and then we're like, I'm fucking done, this sucks, and then turned it off, I don't blame you. Honestly, I might have done the same thing, you know? If I like was watching this movie and then had to take a break for whatever reason, like maybe I was like, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, or I had to leave to go somewhere, or whatever reason why I would turn a movie off halfway through. If I did that and then like, I'm sorry, I gotta adjust my shirt. If I did that, I probably wouldn't have even come back to it. Because it's like, what else are they gonna do? You know, this movie did 3 things really well in this order. First, they made me really wish I was playing one of the Batman Arkham games. And then they made me wish I was playing one of the new Tomb Raider games. And then they made me wish I was watching literally any other movie with Will Smith in it. Because he was like the only enjoyable actor in this movie. No one else is like... I mean, they probably just were like, okay, well, let's just let Will Smith do whatever he wants because he's a fucking legend. I am legend. That wasn't on purpose. He's the guy in that movie, right? I'm not like fucking it up. I'm not stupid. I'm not. I swear. But then again, everyone else, it's like, it just feels... It feels either generic or they're just doing the wrong thing. And I don't know how to put it into words. And this movie disappoints me. And... because I want to like it. I do. They had some cool, like, again, it's the little things that are cool. Like, the Enchantress's brother, like, the thing he does where he sticks his arm out and it turns into, like, a big spike. And it reminded me of, and this is going to be a minor spoiler for the Final Fantasy VII remake. But it reminds me of I forget what the whisper monsters. Like you fight the three of them at the same time. One has like guns, one has fists, and one has like swords. I think the sword one is yellow, and it looks like the sword one's arm with the spike on it looks exactly like when he does the spike thing with his arm. And I'm like, and I was watching the whole movie. I'm like, what does that remind me of? Where have I seen that before? It looks so familiar. And then I'm watching the final battle. I'm like, that's what it's from. Holy shit! And also, in another Final Fantasy thing, while I'm on the subject, Diablo going again beast mode. I don't know what to call it other than that. At the end, very very much reminded me of the trailer, because the game isn't out yet. Obviously, the trailer for Final Fantasy 16. Where I guess it's the main character. I don't know for sure. I had a hard time understand. I can't understand what's going on in Final Fantasy. I don't know what it is. I love it, but I'm an idiot when it comes to it. But like the main character, whoever turning into Ifrit, I think, and like becoming one with him or whatever. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. So like, does someone at Square Enix really like this movie? Like, I don't know. I know Nomura did, this is kind of unrelated, but I think it's really cool, so I'm going to take any chance I can to talk about it. But Tetsuya Nomura, who is the, like, I don't know what his exact title is, but the creator of Kingdom Hearts, the guy who runs it. He also does a lot of stuff at Square Enix. He got to start as a character designer, again, to my knowledge. Like, I know he designed most of the characters for Final Fantasy VII, which you can very much tell that they have his influence to them. But anyway, so he did like a line of, he like redesigned a bunch of superheroes, I think both on DC and Marvel, and they released figures for them. Just type in Tetsuya Nomura superheroes and you'll find them. Like, he has one for Batman, one for the Joker, I think. And again, there's a bunch of them, and they're really cool. And if I had money, I would get them, you know? Just because I love the over-the-top stuff that he does. But anyway, back to the movie. Also, during this final battle, I'm like, you know, the whole plot of this movie would work really well as a D&D one-shot. I mean, yeah, you have the whole party as, like, prisoners, like criminals. Not, like, wrongfully imprisoned. No, they're bad guys. But they all have their own ability. Like, they're all different classes. And I'm like... And as the camera goes from one character to another, I'm like, yep, he's, like... Diablo, definitely a sorcerer. Flag, I'm thinking paladin. Mainly because he's the only one with a moral code or whatever. Deadshot... Probably Ranger, I think. That makes sense for him. Maybe Fighter. Captain Boomerang, Rogue. Killer Croc, Barbarian, hands down. Now, Harley, you know, my first thought would be Rogue, but I think functionally she works better as a bard, honestly. Tuluk the Barbarian, take notes. Has he done... He's probably done a Harley Quinn video. Probably made one when Birds of Prey came out. And also, it's like at the end, I think there's this... We had to pause it at the very moment when Deadshot is like... He gets ordered to kill Harley. And he's like aiming at her, and we pause it, and... Because I watched it with my mom and younger brother. And my brother's like, come on, why'd you pause it here? And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know what's gonna happen. Birds of Prey came out in February, you idiot. There's only one way that this is gonna go. Or there's only so many ways it can go. The last thing I want to say, because I don't want this video, I've already been recording for almost 40 minutes. Again, I've said that I've tried to cut it down, but I just have a lot to say about this movie. Or at least all of what I have to say kind of ties into each other, so I reiterate a lot, which is what happens when you have a lot to say and don't script a video. You know, that's how it be. It is my cross to bear. But anyway, this movie's soundtrack is bad. Like, I don't mean the songs they pick are bad, but it feels like they didn't pick good songs for the scenes. And again, they, especially at the beginning when they're given the lineup, they switch from one song to another way too quickly. And it's like, what? Whoa. You played a song for like 30 seconds and then played another one for like a minute and then played another one. Like, slow down. I know you need to sell soundtracks so you can afford to make a sequel, but keep it, chill out, you know? And they don't add anything, you know? I think Schaefer Ellis Productions, who's an amazing YouTuber, I adore him. Mainly because he's as obsessed with Tamatoa as I am, and also because he makes great videos. But I think it was either in his Shrek 2 or Shrek the Third review, where he mentioned, I think it was Shrek the Third, because he mentions that for a sound, Shrek 1 and 2 are the gold standard for movie soundtracks. At least out of movies that I've seen. But they're the gold standard. Because the song isn't just like, oh, well, there's like 2 words in it that fit the scene, so that like kind of fit the scene, so we'll put it in because it's a good song. No, each of the songs work. Like, that's deeper than that, you know? And this movie is bad at that. It's like, oh, you put in, I can't think of any of the examples, because even though I just watched the movie last night, because none of them are memorable except for Bohemian Rhapsody at the end. And then, is the song Heathens? I forget who it's by. The song that plays during the credits, it's like, those are the only ones I remember. And it's like, why? These don't work. Oh, you put Bohemian Rhapsody because there's the line, no escape from reality. Oh, the song goes, all my friends are heathens. Wow. And like, all right, you know what, I'm talking up Shrek, and I know someone's gonna come into the comments and tell me this, and I already know it, that in Shrek 1, they only put, the all-star cover of I'm a Believer because it said fairy tales in it, and that's the only reason they put it in there. But it's still, even if it's unintentional, it still works. There was no intention with the soundtrack. Again, it's like, oh, well, don't get me wrong, I would buy the soundtrack because it's all good songs and songs that I like, but it doesn't work. They don't work with the movie scenes, and it's just disappointing. I think that, it's all superficial, and I think that's the worst part of this movie, is that it is very surface level. It is a superhero movie that is like trying to be edgy and is almost ashamed of being a superhero movie. And it's like, why? Why? Why are you trying so hard to be cool and be dark? Just do your thing. Tell a story, and if the story ends up being dark or whatever, so be it. Nothing wrong with that. Let it go. Like, just do it. Don't try so hard to... Alright, I'm going to end it on this. Don't try so hard to be something and then be ashamed of being that. Alright? Because, like, superhero movies are primarily for kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make them bad. They just happen to appeal to kids, which, yeah, definitely. I mean, what kid wouldn't like superheroes as a concept, at least? But don't don't try so hard to be dark and edgy if you're not gonna back it up with substance, or at the very least, a good story. I'm probably going back to Marvel videos after this. I don't know, I probably should keep going with DC, because I've heard that Wonder Woman is actually pretty good. But I've heard Batman vs. Superman is, okay, my brother won't shut up, so I think that's actually what I'll end it on. Thank you if you watched the whole 45 minutes. I love ya. Thank you. It means the world to me. It really does. But I think that's going to be it. So again, thanks for watching. Do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will catch you guys whenever I watch another movie. Later.